Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I say to the beat. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Allegedly. Allegedly, it's just the word allegedly. It's what I heard allegedly. It's on the street allegedly. I sing to the beat allegedly. Allegedly, allegedly, it's what I heard allegedly. It's just the word allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue allegedly. It won't help you allegedly. 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 Hello and good morning. This is the craziest part 3 reunion morning ever. I mean, we've all had a moment to really sit with it. And we now know Karen. Clink, clink. Don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap. Well, I mean, the truth is, it seemed like Michael would want to be dropping the soap and spreading it wide. But will you, Karen? Will you? Michael Darby won't have to worry about penitentiary phallus. But you will, Karen Huger. You will. All that clankety clank. Oh my God. Let's just talk about the memes of the weekend. Is there any coming back to the show? I love that they said they're moving on without her now. I think we have to move on without her permanently. One, oh yeah, thank you. I'm wearing my blouse. It's an ode to TJ. It's my lace floral blouse. Some say a blouse is a feminine top. I just think it's a beautiful garment. A delightful blouse. Oh, Mel. Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Alice. How you having a really great Dowager Countess type weekend?
I really am. I got to run some errands. It's been a self-care. So glad spring is coming in. I had my little cheat day, so I had pizza, nuggets, and Pepsi, and that was good.
Nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It was very good. Ran some errands and just hung out with the dog, and really just mulled over all of this. And in my mind is like, wow, she is really going to jail. They're not filming. They're not going to wait for her. And I hate to say it, but I feel like 4 DUIs, at what point do we say, okay, girl, you can't come back?
Right. Yeah, well, I guess that's 4. That's a magic number, unfortunately, for her. I mean, again, what was I going to say? I was watching, I'm happy you did it this time, because I love when you do live and people can call in, but it be a different. So the weekend, Alice, at this time is perfect time. And any day, I'm putting my little order, and any days after 6 p.m. in Eastern time is the best time. I'm going to put that out there to your schedulers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But you're right. Yeah, Karen. Yeah, I mean, I hope that she just scoot right through that time. I wonder where she's going. I wonder if it's going to be, I don't know how it is in Maryland or wherever, but hopefully it's going to be sort of what Martha Stewart got, where it's not going to be too, hard life and too HBO, basically. I don't want it to be too crazy for her.
They said she's going to be doing it at county because it's going to be just like a couple of months. So she's going to be in the county lockup in Rockland, Maryland.
Well, I wouldn't have to look it up to see how it looks and how she's going to be in there.
It doesn't look too pleasant, but I mean, it's prison.
Yeah. I mean, because the one that Martha Stewart went to didn't look too bad.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? She's going to jail. So she's going to be in the county jail. Martha had a choice because she was doing enough time where she got to go to prison, but she's going to be in the county lockup.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's gonna be irritating. It's not gonna be fun. There's not gonna be a lot of privileges. It like the judge did this because you drove drunk 4 times. And apparently she was able to plead down these DUI offenses so that it wasn't DUI, and that's how she's gotten so many of them.
Yeah. I didn't even, so I don't know where the access is to their audio because I've heard some of it online on Twitter and stuff with the audio of, the sentencing of when he was talking to her and when she, of course, made her statement. And I was looking at that, I was hearing the judge on some of those moments. I was like, my gosh, that man was like, you were filled to the gills and just so many things. He had too many zingers for me, to be honest with you. I said, this is a shady judge. Like he really was.
To the gills got me.
He did, right? And then he said, well, you weren't held accountable. I said, well, I was going to say, Judge, honey, you didn't watch the show because Miss Reese with herself, she was trying to let the audience know that, what the problem was. But, she definitely was held accountable by that lady, Miss Reese in her champagne room. But yeah, that judge, I said, sir, can you host the next reunion? Because he really was getting, listen, he was getting her together too fast. I said, I couldn't keep up with him. He had a lot of zingers out. He had a lot of zingers. He really did.
That's incredible.
He did. He had a lot of zingers. But okay, so you said the reunion prediction. I think Mia's going to be gone. I mean, I guess that's not even like a shocker because she kind of walked away from Jazelle, and yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad that it was Jazelle that like put the final blow in. But I've realized something. I've been saying the show is on its back foot. People don't have back feet. Dogs do. And that's why the show isn't working. We have let Jazelle cast for too long. And now we've lost Karen, the one person that could like really spar with her and also would put up with her. And also Jazelle knows some of her business. So when Jazelle started talking about how you was going crazy back in the day when Jamal wouldn't give you that child support, but sleeping with every parishioner with a pussy. That's when she eased the fuck up because she would pull the can like Kimberly and said, "Sit down, ho. I'm about to tell all your business."
That's right. Listen,
and Karen meant that with the spirit of Jesus. She said, "I'm really gonna tell on you." And she backed up after that.
Yeah, listen, she is. I'm not sure. You seem to get all the references, which I love. You probably watch Little House on the Prairie. My mother. So you remember what was her name? Nellie, right? So Nellie would terror.
It was a Nellie Olsen story.
Well, you know what, Alice? I know you would love. So Nellie would terrorize the people on the prairie too much, and to the point where the girl had to put her face in the mud. She had to put it in the mud. And then she said, "You're going to get off me, lady. Come on now. You get off me because you've been bullying me too long." So that's what Jazelle gives me. She's basically a African-American Nellie that's out there always terrorizing people. And sometimes people, I don't believe in violence. I don't. That's what comes to Black women. But I think that somebody, have to put her face in the mud, verbally, of course, because she just get away. I don't think that she's worth the clout that Bravo gives her. I really don't.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you for being a window of light and air and common sense. Thank you for saying it. I feel like Jazelle is the definition of the trophy pastor's wife. She's past her prime. She had some good years, but she's past her prime as a housewife.
Now,
her water-filled ankles can go.
Come on now, water retention. So you know what, Alex? I would say this: her home is not worth the clout. Her fashions is not worth the clout. And I'm not going to say about it, but honey, your age at this point is not worth that clout. So the thing is, you need to really get yourself together and not be out here terrorizing people. This year, she was not a good woman. She was actually just making sure she secured her check because she terrorized people so much that she didn't want to get basically jumped by the woman on the show, because the same way that they were jumping Mia and the way they were trying to jump Karen, they would have done that to her. She started, well, let me tell you about your husband. And let me tell they were waiting for her. I think even Kiana, even though she wasn't giving that much, they were waiting for her to try. Come on now,
Castlevania house.
Yeah. She not worth the clout. She don't got it. So yeah, I think that I remember last year. Yeah, go ahead.
And also we like all we've seen from Jazelle is mean. That's all we see. That's all she has to offer. Can you give us something else? Can you do something else? And like even her starting to try to like bully Stacy, it's like you need to be trying to make every friend you can and not just suck up to Wendy so you don't look colorist.
Well, that ain't gonna work. You know what, Allison? This is not. I wish I would have known of your channel back then when the colors conversation was really, really hot, and because I would have joined it and I would have said this. Now, mind you, I'm a man in my 40s. I'm 43 years old. My mother and my other family members, they have lived that lifestyle where they weren't colorist, but they were not politically correct, and we know what we're talking about. So when you think about school days. Now, am I going to sit up here and say that I haven't heard my relatives back in the day use that type of language when it came to other type of people? They don't do it now. But so when Jazelle and Karen, as light-skinned, beautiful Black women, would sort of act like they don't know what colorism is, that for me always enraged me, because I'm like, wait a minute, I have family members in all parts of the Southern, territories, and they definitely used to speak in ways that was not politically correct. So that always she never owned it on TV. Listen, if somebody really wanted to investigate her, because I remember she was on the Breakfast Club and she was celebrating. The best days of my life was when I was hazing people at the sorority. She said it was a wonderful time. I loved it. It was a couple of years ago. Now, I bet you there's stories from the way she hazed those ladies who were light skinned and also dark skinned, just like in that picture School Days. And I'm sure they can come out, but because it's secret, you're not supposed to come out against your sorority sister. But I bet you. Yeah. So I bet you there's definitely stories. And so that means that she knows about it. So when we see on the show where the Chocolate Sisters don't get a hug, when they come back from reunion, they come back to start filming, that's to me screams of that kind of colorism stuff that she never really wanted to own. So now that we don't have Karen there, and God help us, we might get Robin back. God help me.
And you see, and this is the problem with letting neck cast, because now all we have are piss poor options. Charisse, Robin, and honestly, we can't bring Robin back because Robin doesn't tell the truth. So right. I feel like if you're gonna fire Mia, why are we giving Rob a second chance? Like, no. And Robin isn't interesting. Like, we've got enough boring on the cast with Kay and Jazzy if they're going to try to make them work.
You know what? So somebody on you've been having a wonderful cast panels with these ladies. I think that Miss Gemini, I'm gonna give her the gold standard of being on a panel for 2 years, because she was everything. I watched that recap that you did about Potomac this week. I watched it about 3 times because she was absolutely fabulous. But y'all were talking about the production and y'all were talking about how the show was run. I remember last year I called into somebody's show and I was saying that I didn't know the man, but one of the producers on the program of Potomac, his name is Patrick McDonald. And I was saying that when people were talking about how the show was produced and how sometimes it looks, sloppy and lazy, and even this year the viewers called them out because there was a wonderful scene where Wendy was holding Karen accountable for being messy, but we never saw it on the program. We never saw it there. And I was saying, well, the producing of these shows are not really produced by people who are talented. They seem to be produced based on people who Andy had favor, he's doing favors for or something. Again, this is alleged. Patrick McDonald was on a show called Fire Island, and he produced this program last year. I'm not sure if he still produces it now. On Fire Island, he was extremely messy, and people in New York City knew exactly what he was about. Now, when I said that last year, people was like, oh my gosh, Mel's up here spilling tea. This year, Patrick is now on his Twitter doing, the most explicit things you can ever think about. So I didn't lie when I said I knew who this man was. So my point is, Andy is getting people from OnlyFans or from the back rooms of these sweat houses, who knows where, to produce these shows, and they're not doing a good job. I need people who are very talented to listen.
I listen. Not. Oh my God. because oh my god, oh girl, I like this is 2 and 2 is becoming 4. Oh my god.
Patrick was a messy. I mean, the thing is, Alice, I live in New York City in my life, and you know too, whatever community you in, we all hear stories about the people. The gay community is very small. So did I know of Patrick? Absolutely. And did I hear horror stories about what he was doing? Absolutely. So he was basically a messy bottom out here. You know, people knew who he was. So it's kind of funny that he popped up to be a producer last year on Potomac. So when people were complaining about the production, I was like, well, of course, it's because Patrick is producing. Now, I'm not sure if he's doing it now, but you know, now he's on OnlyFans, he's on Twitter. So this is the thing for me. I don't care about you being a sex worker or whatever, but Andy Cohen's directly to you, please do not hire people that you find attractive, that you, God knows, allegedly that you've met in different, you know, parties or who knows what. You hire people, preferably women, Black women, who knows how to tell these kind of stories. Because when you hire these guys that you've known through the lifestyle, it just don't make it a good
lifestyle.
The lifestyle. And out there,
I said the lifestyle.
Me, you need to probably have a conversation because we probably know stories of all this. Listen, you know. But yeah, that's what I think. I think that we need to really just sort of, under the new administration politically, who knows if that will happen. But I've always felt, not because I think that only Black people can tell Black stories, but I do believe when you have very complicated women, and I think that the women of Potomac are complicated and beautiful, and I think the women of Maryland, Medicine, beautiful and complicated, and Atlanta too. But I think because of that complexity, you need to have your sisters holding you accountable. I mean, Mona Scott is not, she has her problems, but I like her shows better. Even with basketball wise, I didn't like Shawnee that much, but you know, there was a rhythm to it, and I don't think that getting people who you know, on OnlyFans or wherever to do these shows it's not working anymore. It's not.
Wow. That is true. I feel like along with, and maybe that's why they're letting Jazelle produce the damn show.
Well, Jazelle and Patrick
have so much power and so much authority because we've got, you know, sissies in favor. That's why the shows are so terrible, because they're being ran by sissies in favor and serpents of the church.
Absolutely. So last year when Candace had such issues with production, and this is why I was going online and telling people, trying to put a little extra information in. She was having such issue with production, but Patrick and Jazelle were best friends last year, so that's not a coincidence. They were really best friends. So when people would say, "Well, where's the evidence and against Jazelle?" It wasn't going to be there because she, at least in my opinion, she's very friendly with the people there. And Patrick was Giselle's producer. He was on her Instagram. They were loving on each other, like, okay, we out here. So it was like, of course, he's not going to really, hold her accountable. So yeah, I understand why Candace would leave and live her best life. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a channel, but I definitely be looking at this stuff, and I connect dots, and you live in New York City, you hear things and you see things, stuff.
I cannot believe this because I had heard that one of the producers was like and now this all makes sense. I was wondering what the correlation was, and this was the missing piece of information. So it's cities in favor that are holding cameras and pointing, and that's why we're getting these sorry and dark stories, because they don't know anything of human interest. They only know about sperm.
And also, you know what Alex, is it totally shocking? And again, this is alleged. Is it totally shocking that a meth queen is forgetting stuff and forgetting to put the stuff on the television show? Absolutely not. They probably don't listen. Don't get me up here reading on Sunday, because I probably did it. I shouldn't do it, actually. But
it's a Sunday morning, and if it's Sunday morning, we're going to tell the truth for the Lord.
Well, okay. Well, is it shocking that somebody with that little brain cells, because you're partying waves, is out here forgetting the big parts of a colorist storyline? Absolutely not, especially if you're white, No. I mean, no, it's not shocking to me. It's not shocking to me. Oh, it's all alleged too, but it's not shocking. Absolutely not shocking. Yeah, that's why I say you need Black women to tell Black women's stories. People who've been educated, who've gone to CUNY, who've gone to Yale, who've gone to Juilliard, wherever you can go to learn about production, learn about telling a story, and learn about ethics, learn about, making sure that everything line up. You don't pick sides, you're a neutral. And you come on. So that's what I think. And I think that would make it run better. Give us some PBS energy, give us the PBS type, you still be messy, show beautiful things, but make sure everything is truthful. And if you got people up there, meeting the heads of Bravo at different, events or parties or whatever, and then now they hire, that's just too much for me.
Wow. The streets be talking.
I remember
things make so much sense.
Yes, listen, I was in Bravo's thing a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple months ago, and they said, "I see you, Mel." But the thing is with me, I never get in trouble because I'm telling the truth. I'm telling what it's out there. The receipts are out there, so I'm telling the truth.
I mean, the receipts are out there with that one.
Listen, on Twitter. Oh my gosh! So last year,
I've seen those receipts myself.
Okay, listen. Last year he was on the quiet tip. Last year when I said it, people kind of shocked. Said what? But then he kind of hit that life now because of the what we going through with prices going up. He's back out there doing his thing. So I'm like, oh.
Child, back out there doing. I can't even. Well, that definitely is a missing piece of the puzzle. I'll also say because you know what's interesting? Ever since Monique left the show, we haven't seen Wealth.
Yeah.
We need to bring back, I feel, Wealth to these shows. And we could get some Wealth with Jazzy, the football one, I don't know how that's going to go with the mistress that's like, she knew about me and that's piping up. Because it might give too much basketball wives.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know DC that well. I don't know what they can do. Let me ask you this, because there was a show that I forgot about, and I remember I was watching another blogger, and they had interviewed a woman from this show called the DC Housewives, and I'm thinking, I believe DC and Potomac are all together in some ways. I wonder if they can get some of those women from there, or I don't know if they still want to film or look, presentable or whatever. But maybe they can get some of the women from there. They seem to have had a one-off, very controversial season. Maybe those women can join Potomac and give a little, different style to things.
Well, let's see. One of them was broke into the White House, so she's never getting hired again.
Oh yeah, I read Salaki or
yeah. And the other ones, everybody said they were really boring. They weren't good TV. There was a reason other than the Salaki shit that ended it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know what I think too? I think because I never was Team Monique, never. But in my dreams, you see, I love when people have reunions. Even though Kim is very problematic on Atlanta Housewives, I enjoy when her and Nene on screen sort of go, you know what, girl, I've known you for 25 years. And even though we talk about problems in our homes and affairs and that, when they sit together and they really put that stuff down, I love it. And for me, even though Candace and Monique didn't know each other that well. I mean, they, Candace got there, they liked each other for a year. Next thing you know, Monique turned on her. But I would, if they wanted to really, rev up this series, if I was Monique, the fact that her divorce didn't go well and she didn't get much money out of it and stuff like that, I would get on my hands and knees, and I would, in my opinion, since I'm a Candace stan, I love Candace, I would get on my hands and knees, I would beg for forgiveness from Candace, and I would say, you know what, girl, I got manipulated by, as you said, the water retention crazy lady, and I want to apologize to you. And I want to apologize because I really wasn't trying to hit you. I was really upset with the Green Eye Bandits. And because if they would get together, become friends again, they would totally just shake up Bravo altogether. It would just be huge. And that's what I would
be too.
That's what I've always wanted. Because Yeah, because I think at this time, Monique, I mean, she's still a little boring, and because I watched some of her live streams or whatever, but she know in her heart that it was Gigi, her best friend, that was telling her truth. Okay, that I don't think it's lies. You got divorced too fast after your shows for it to be lies, and we don't need to know too much details. But Gigi was telling you the truth, and you were intimidated by Gigi. That's why you didn't go try to box her. Now you have this little lady, a diva, a beautiful goddess, and you thought, okay, she's an easy target. I can't take on Robin. And I think that Jazelle should protect her by the network. So now let me go after this one. And I should apologize for that. I don't have my husband. I'm not really dating anybody. I have my kids half the time. I want to come over here and now I have nothing to lose. I want to apologize and I want to play the game. And I wouldn't mind that if she was come with that energy.
I mean, I've heard other people have had this sentiment that it's like, look, it's time for both Monique and Candace to admit we were manipulated by Rob and Jazelle, and we need to join forces and Fox Force if they could. But I truly feel like both women hold like I can't accept their part of it and won't also really put the blame where it needs to be on Jazelle because it means that they got fooled and they don't want to admit that there's too much ego from the both of them.
Yeah, well, I can see that with Monique. But you know what? You're right. I think that what I would say, I'll reframe it. It's too toxic. At this point, the idea that bridges have been burned is, but it would just be so amazing. But okay, so back to the reunion. There was this woman named Miss Vivian, Miss Wonderful, Miss Classy, Wonderful Miss Vivian. And she made me laugh so hard this week because she was not very pleased with Stacy's, storytelling of their friendship and her business and her gowns, whatever. And she had put a post on Instagram, you see, where she said that Miss Stacy damaged one of her goods, her clothing, and when she sent it back, it was soiled and it didn't smell very good. So that made me laugh. And of course, she was on a local television program over there talking that it was a messy, very beautiful, messy little reporter trying to get her to say that Stacy stank. So my question after that came out from Miss Vivian. When they were in Lake Norman, okay, it was very funny. And the girls were playing around, said, "What is that smell?" Now now Jacqueline with her crazy self went to smell between Mia's legs, at that point. But I know that Jacqueline is very happy now. Thank God, based on what Miss Vivian said, that she didn't go smell Miss Stacy. Because the streets of Potomac and Miss Vivian said that Stacy she's the one with a stink box. She's going around there funking up the people's vacations, funking up the Lake Norman, fucking up the garments. Like she's really just and Alex too. Maybe that's why the dogs were having crapping fits, not because of the noise, but because they were smelling Miss Stacy. This is what the people were saying. This week I've been very much having this fun with Miss Vivian's Instagram. So I don't know if that's gonna come out the reunion. But Miss Vivian definitely, she gets a gold star for me. She made me laugh very hard. I was like, what? Stacy's a beautiful lady. Why? I didn't think that anything would be wrong with her smell. So I was like, oh my gosh.
She said, I'm going to let her have it.
She did.
I mean, maybe we'll get Vivian on. I feel like now that we've got so many free spaces open, I think, the one good thing with Mia Lies is please, when Mia goes, Jacqueline goes with her. I want Jacqueline to go down with that ship, down on that ship. I am so tired of Jacqueline. And then gonna come on pregnant talking about stay tuned. Girl, you got pregnant for a storyline.
Right. And I saw the clip of the reunion tonight with her. So it's funny you brought her up with her. And it's Jacqueline is interesting to me. Not in a good way, because Mia was destroyed in that moment when they talked about her parenting, and she didn't want to really accept how she didn't really, in my opinion, been very protective of her family. So when she left the stage, why did Jacqueline sit there? That's like a question for me. Then she went on. Yeah. Then she went on to say that she was a victim. Jacqueline said she was a victim of Karen this year. Now, I don't like Karen. I haven't liked her since the Monique and Candace fight, but I'm just sad what's going on for her family. But I didn't see Jacqueline as a victim of Karen this year. I felt like Jacqueline knew that Mia's storyline was fabricated, lies, made up, it was a problem, and that she really didn't have no place there. So she kept picking at the Grand Dame or the Grand Dame or whatever you want to call the lady in prison. And she picked at her, and then when she reacted and cussed her out, made her cry, she said she was a victim. They flashed back and showed that every time she talked about Karen, it was shady. It wasn't really loving. So that, of course, the lady's, and especially if she's angry and she's scared about legal stuff, she's going to be strong. That's the one thing I'll give Karen. So I don't know. I agree with you. I think that Jacqueline, she was a waste. And the fact that she's playing the victim tonight is like, no, I'm sorry. I don't like Karen, but you were not a victim this season. You were not loving to Karen.
Yeah, exactly. Showing up with those balloons for all the charges. And now that she's gone to jail, you're going to look even worse.
Yeah.
What do you think about Stacy and her blouse?
And her and Mr. TJ or Mrs. TJ, whatever you want to call the man. You know what's so funny? And I don't think I've heard this on YouTube yet. When he was talking to the guys in the back room on the phone, he almost sounded like a regular person. I mean, maybe people missed that, but he was so relaxed, and he was like, "Yo, my house is, I'm saving my house. I'm out here, and yeah, brother, so I'm not with the fake stuff." And I'm like, okay, that's not giving that energy he was on the show with, where he was very, weird, basically. So I liked the fact that he was relaxed, but I guess he was too relaxed because he kind of exposed Miss Stacy for whatever it is. I still think Bravo was smart because I don't never seen a spoiler what he said about her. So I'm excited about tonight. Yeah, obviously he don't like her. I don't think he likes her anymore, and that's why he's going to expose her tonight. I don't think we will ever see him on Potomac again.
Well, I don't think he ever really liked her.
Well, I don't know. Maybe maybe that's what we learned tonight. It was a business deal going wrong, or something. But he was definitely very relaxed with Wendy and Kay's significant others. He was relaxed. He sounded normal, natural. He didn't sound all weird. But yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm looking forward. Tonight's going to be about Stacy, I believe. I think it's going to be about her.
I'm okay with her renting a man to be interesting. It's your first season, and you may not want to blow up your whole life if you don't know if you're getting hired.
So you know what? And people drag Kenya, and actually I remember years ago I used to love everything the woman did. And this is before YouTube, and I remember she was getting eaten up all the time. I mean, she was getting just talked about so badly, and I just was a fan of her. So I will say, to Kenya's point, for the most part, I don't think she's ever been really exposed. She's had some, mistakes, and that's what, obviously she has some problems this year, but she's not been exposed for what people have always thought, that she lied about her, her body. She lied about her, her first relationship and her relationship with her daughter's father, all that, just a lot of lies that's never really, truly been exposed. So what I will say about Kenya, she knows how to really pull a stunt and do it well. And I think that because Stacy thought she looked like her, what she does, look like her cousin or something, very beautiful ladies, she didn't do it well. She thought, I can come in like Miss Kenya, come up here being weird, or no, come up here being funny, because she's funny. I don't think she's a mean person. She come up being funny or just sort of off or whatever. And I'm going to bring in a man who I'm not really in a relationship with. I'm going to do what Kenya did. And I don't think anybody can do it but Kenya, that sort of thing, because Kenya is smart. She knows how to cover her tracks, And I think that Stacy obviously is not smart enough to do it. And that's what she's going to expose tonight.
Well, I think, though, I think Stacy's very strategic. I feel like this was her plot line, and now she's tearing it off like a Band-Aid. It was like, let me have something a little contrived and that people can laugh at me about. So, there's a reason that people are talking about me. I feel like it's a staged hit. So that way she's like, oh, look, oh, poor me, he, ha, ha, we can laugh at me, but it keeps me on the show. She's laughing all the way to the bank.
So let me ask you this. So do you think that I agree with, so you think that tonight, if something comes that's not a part of her program, when oh my gosh, when Wendy brings something from the backstage about Stacy, do you think she will say, because that would be, so if she does, so I'll say this, if she does this, then I'm a fan for life. And I love, because that's actually why I enjoy Vicky on OC when she was there. There are certain housewives, when they know that the jig is up, the gig is all up, they've been exposed, they go, you know what? I did it. I was insecure. When people go there, I love them forever. And so I'm wondering, do you think that if she's really exposed and she has no out, and she's like, you know what, I did do it. I did it. Like I did it, and he's right. I came in with a fake storyline. Please forgive me. I'm gonna try better. I try to remember other housewives that have done that. Lisa Rinna have done that. I liked her off and on because she kind of owned certain things. But when they go, I've been exposed. Forgive me. I love them forever. I love them forever.
I don't know. It's a toss up whether she will. I think either way she plays it, she'll make it endearing. She may cling to the lie, but with a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, she did that already. Yeah, because
So I could see that where it's like, okay, we got you, we got you.
Because that's what Vivian got her together, because she was like, oh, I don't cuss, but then she did become playful when she didn't really push back as much. She'd go, you know what? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, she did do it because she was exposed a little bit with the cussing, and then she kind of just accepted it, you know. But if TJ comes with a bombshell, Mr. Messy Blouse TJ, he come with a nasty, really nasty bombshell. That's gonna be hard for her. That's gonna be a little hard. That's gonna be hard. But listen, I'm excited.
I am excited too. It is. This is. I know. Andy's got to be like, this is one hell of a reunion. Like, it's already filmed, but now because of Karen's prison sentence, the impact has changed so much. Like, this is so the end of an era of Housewives.
It is. You know what? Before I go, I was going to say yesterday. I didn't watch you. I watch your shows on replay because I don't be catching a lot. And you had a wonderful show with you and Chris, and I believe was it Brooke Ashley? Wasn't it correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was one of you. Again, Miss Brooke is a beautiful lady. But you know, something happened that your program, because I was so busy, I realized that Miss Angie Stone had passed away. And then when you had that shocking moment from your wonderful chat, I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I just wanted to say that because I saw that on your program before it really broke. It was like I was rewatching, and I kind of had that moment.
We thought it was fake. And somebody, like, because we looked it up, and then there was a headline that said it was fake. So I was like, oh, good, it's fake. And then it turned out to be real.
Yeah, it was like, because before it broke really big, your audience somewhere, they caught it real quick. So yeah, that was just a little.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see everybody soon. So tell a friend, tell a friend.